All right, now joined by Cole Perfetti, the Scholastic Player of the Year. An amazing accomplishment for someone as busy as you are, especially in your draft year. How have you gone about balancing everything that's gone on here this season?
Yeah, obviously, it was a hectic season. Your draft year, you got a lot of focus on hockey, and there's a lot of things that I was able, and I was fortunate enough to participate in things like the CHL Top Prospects game and the Canada Russia series, and then the day-to-day practices and games and stuff like that. It's definitely it's a lot to handle, but I think the way that everyone in the Saginaw organization helps with that, it's outstanding. Everyone from the Pam Mortuz, our student advisor at the high school, up to our owners, up to our billets, everyone like that. They're all working together and creating plans and creating solutions so we can all, be successful on the road, and kind of manage our time, being able to, have study halls on road trips, on the bus, stuff like that. So we're ensuring that we're getting our work done, and then being able to, focus on hockey when the time comes, and being able to get our academics done and make sure they're done to our highest standards. So they do a great job there. And it was very busy this year, but it was a lot of fun.
Amazing stuff. Hey, not to interrupt here, but something's gone on here. Just give me 1 second, would you please? Just give me 1 second here. All right. Look who it is. We got a special guest who's joined us for the meeting. Someone who's been in the very same position as you. Connor McDavid joins us now. Connor, thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Cole Perfetti, Scholastic Player of the Year in his draft year. You were named that twice. What do you think of this accomplishment performed here by Cole this year?
Yeah, absolutely. No, happy to be here, and congratulations, Cole. That's
Thank you.
special, man, honestly. We're both OHL guys. I feel the OHL is the best junior league in the world. And it gives us an opportunity to pursue not only our, athletic dreams, but our educational goals as well. If you want to go to university, if you want to, hockey doesn't work out, whatever, you name it. And I saw that you had 111 points this year and a 93%, in class. I mean, that's pretty special. So
Thank you.
I've been in your shoes. I know what it's like, and it's not easy, man, to balance both. So congratulations, and really happy for you, bud.
Thank you. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. It's obviously an honor to be a part of this award and, be in the same steps that you're in at this age. So, it's a huge honor and a step in the right direction. So, I'm thrilled about it and can't wait to see what the future holds.
I'm amazed, Connor, because we dealt with you a lot throughout your course of being with Erie. And you guys in your draft year, there's so much going on. All the interviews you have to do, you're dealing with your agents and other things. And yet, obviously projected as very high picks in your respective drafts. We know where you went, Connor. Cole, you're going to be in that top 5, 7 range. Connor, what type of advice could you give to Cole here moving forward? I mean, a lot of uncertainty of when the draft date is going to be, but to balance what he has to do between now and when the draft eventually happens.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you said it. I mean, it's uncertain times, and we don't know when the draft is going to be. I remember my draft year, and you're in a similar situation where you play hockey in the States. So I'm not sure what you did, but for me, I went to school in the States for my first semester, and then would transfer back and be online with my home school, here in Newmarket and Aurora, and it's not easy to teach yourself math and do all these types of things. And so it was tough. I remember we went deep that year. I think we lost in the finals, and then you got the combine, and then you got to go to you got to do all these events, and there's no time for school. So you got to balance it all out. And I had lots of help in graduating and worked really hard, and was fortunate enough to be able to win this award and graduate and do all that. So you're obviously in a little bit of a different situation with this whole virus going on, and you got lots of time to make sure your grades are good. So you got to keep those up. But it's an exciting time for you. I remember being 18 years old and getting ready for the draft. It's so exciting, and hopefully the Oilers are going to be drafting a little bit further down the list this year, so we won't have a chance to get you. But if things don't go well in the playoff series, you never know.
Yeah, that'd be pretty special going to Edmonton, and that'd be pretty cool. But hopefully the best of luck to you guys in the playoffs, and hopefully you go far.
And Connor, just before you go, I know you're you got to get moving. You're a busy guy here, but I want to open up the floor to Cole and any questions you might have for Connor, especially with you guys having been in similar situations. Scholastic Player of the Year, very talented hockey players. Cole, you're a bright young guy. Anything that you want to lean on Connor to ask him about?
Yeah, put me on the spot a little bit here, but I think a lot of kids kind of have this. Obviously, you have dealt with this your entire life, but how do you kind of handle the spotlight always being on you? I mean, you're always under that spotlight, and everyone's watching your every move, and it's kind of been like that your whole life. And it's in my draft year. There's a lot of guys that are starting to have that, and I just have any advice, any tips on how to handle that pressure, handle the spotlight that's on you at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're growing up at a time where the margin for error is pretty small, and we got social media and everyone's got cameras, and and it's tough to be in the spotlight, and I absolutely feel that, and but you just have to be yourself, and lean on your family, lean on your friends. That's what they're there for, and that's the best advice I'd give. I mean, I don't have any secret formula or secret recipe or answers for you. I wish I did, but you just got to have that close family and your friends, and lean on them as much as you can. That's about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Connor. Thanks again. If there's anything else you want to say before you get moving, by all means. And if not, we wish you continued success in working with the NHL, the PA, to try and get things back on the ice. We're really looking forward to seeing you back in.
I would be here. Congrats again, Cole, and good to see you too.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate that, and best of luck down the road. Thank you.
Wow, unbelievable surprise. You as shocked as I was?
Yeah, that's a pretty good surprise. That caught me off guard for sure. Didn't really know what to say there.
You're rarely at a loss for words, but I love the question you asked, Connor. I mean, you're obviously someone who, even going back to your minor midget days and through being drafted to Saginaw and moving forward, with your success in the league this year. Great question. I hope you're able to take something from Connor moving forward here. But just looking at where you are now, I mean, since the season came to that abrupt end, how is it that you've kind of planned or laid out your plan in moving forward to the draft?
Yeah, so obviously with the uncertainty of the draft, it's kind of hard to have a set in stone plan, and things are so fluid and they're changing constantly. So that doesn't help the situation. But I've had a couple months off already, and been off the ice and off the skates, but I've been able to keep up with my training. I've been fortunate enough that my trainer has been working with me, creating workout plans. We before the summer, we identified what needed to be worked on, and we put a game plan in place for that. And I've been executing that every day, and I have a pretty good setup in the backyard, and I've been able to work out to the fullest potential that I would be at the gym. So I haven't really missed out on a stride in that sense. Obviously, everyone's in the same boat for the skating and being on the ice. I think hopefully the ice, I mean, the private rinks are starting to open up now, so I think that's a good sign. And being able to get on the ice a little bit. It's still early, and there's a lot of summer left, so I don't know how much I'll be on the ice that much. But obviously there's a lot of things I can still do away from being on the ice that's gonna benefit me. I've been able to step back and really focus on my nutrition for the first time. I mean, obviously I've taken nutrition seriously and realized that it's obviously a very big and very important part of the game. But with this time off, I've been able to really break down what I'm eating and ensure that I'm putting the right things in my body and making sure that I'm getting the right rest and preparing my body for the next season, whatever it may be, and what the future has to hold. Obviously we don't know, but I've been doing a lot to put my body and put myself in the best position that I can to make a mark early next hockey season, whenever that is.
The off ice is just fascinating to me how guys are going about their business right now. And, at some points, I think being in your draft year, you're the benefactor of maybe being off. Of course, you wanted to play, and your team had a very good chance of going on to win an OHL championship. But it is never the case that I've seen in all my years of covering it, where a draft eligible player has had this amount of time to prepare without, obviously you're going through meetings on Zoom and meeting teams in that regard. but you can do that from the comfort of your home. Do you think that maybe you're in a real advantageous spot when it comes to the entire draft class and what may happen when the 2020-2021 NHL season starts?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, I think it's been pretty advantageous. I've been able to, get an extra 2 months of training that normally I would never get. And I've been, I've taken really big strides in those 2 months, and I've noticed big improvements since I've gotten home. Obviously it sucks getting the season canceled, especially on a team when we would have gone on a long run. We had a great team and we were hot near the end, and, we were ready and preparing for a long playoff run. So I think that kind of was a negative. It kind of hurt a little bit. I think I would have been able to, keep impressing, keep playing and doing my thing throughout the playoffs and hopefully into the Memorial Cup, stuff like that, I don't get that opportunity this year to showcase a little bit more. But personally, I think it has been beneficial for me in the area that I've been able to get a lot stronger. I've been getting faster, giving my body that rest that I usually don't get, and that players don't get. And I think being able to do the Zoom calls, meet with teams at home, it kind of gives you that sense of comfort and allows you to be yourself a little bit more. I think if you go sometimes, guys, I've heard stories where they go into the meeting rooms and they're a little intimidated and, they don't act themselves and they're a little nervous. But I think when you're, in your room, in your office at your house and, everything's on a screen, you can kind of be yourself a little bit more and your personality can show. And I think I've been able to do that. And I think I've done a pretty good job with all the Zoom interviews with all the teams. And, I think that's been good for me as well.
I know a lot of the conversations I've had with people in the scouting world, you've done an outstanding job in that regard. It doesn't surprise me. We've gotten to know you here the last couple of years, so
Thank you.
No surprise there whatsoever. I want to rewind the tape a little bit and go back to when the season came to a close, and here you are still trying to achieve, obviously, your hockey goals. You know that would have come to an end for this season, but in terms of scholastically and being named the Scholastic Player of the Year, tell me about from when the season came to an end. You're in Saginaw. What happens with you and your schooling and how you get home and all those things? How did that all come together?
Yeah, so like Connor did when he was in his draft year, he took schooling through the American School Board for the first semester, and that's what I did. Got a couple classes done in the first semester, and then all I needed to do was 3 classes in the second semester. And I'm very grateful that my high school back home, All Saints in Whitby, the guidance counselor there was really helpful with me and matched up my classes real well. And we came up with a solution and a plan for me to, transition smoothly back. And I ended up taking 3 online courses in my second semester that were from my home school board that I was able to do when I was in Saginaw. And then obviously when I came home, I kept doing it as if I was still in Saginaw, all online and transferred nicely. So I've been able to transition smooth both years. And I'm very grateful for that. I hear sometimes kids don't transfer smooth especially from American schools. But I'm very grateful that and happy that it was a smooth transition and everything worked out well. And, I've almost done, I think I got 10 more days left in all my classes, and then I'm done high school for it all. So, but it's been good. It's been a smooth transition, and I've been able to, keep up with the work here and haven't really missed anything. So it's been nice and it's been good. And a lot of that goes to the hard work that, Pam Mortuzzo and Miss Quinn from my 2 schools did to cooperate and communicate to get my classes figured out. So it was good.
What's amazing to me is obviously you're a very bright and intelligent young man and an amazing hockey player. But sometimes it takes an army. And I think about the support from your family, the support from your billet family in Saginaw when we had the time to spend with you. Chris Lazary, the coaching staff, Dave Drinkle in Saginaw. How much of each of those groups meant to you in being able to accomplish this feat while still being considered a high pick here for the draft?
For sure. Everyone played a major role. All the people you said, starting with my family, even though they weren't living with me, they were still giving me the support and the help that I needed whenever I need to lean on someone, ask a question, just feel comfortable, being able to talk to them, seeing them often. That really helped. Obviously the support they give is, it's massive and is the reason why I'm here today. And then my billets, they're great people. You met them. They're a great family, and they definitely have my success first, and they have me in their best interest. So I'm very grateful for that. And not a lot of kids can be blessed with the kind of billets that I do. And I'm very, honored and thrilled to have a billet family that I do. And I'm very lucky for that. And then obviously it goes from the guys in the room to the coaching staff to the management. Everyone plays different roles, and but we're all equally as important into helping me with my success. They were allowing me to just go out and play my game when I needed to, being able to go to the rink and be stress free, just worrying about my hockey, and then kind of helping me take care of everything else away from the rink. I was able to start a charity this year, and people like Craig Gosson in the Spirit Foundation, they did a great job with helping me with that, and kind of made it really easy to start that. I thought it was going to be a major task and something that was going to be very hard to do on top of the hockey. But the support that I got and the help that I got from Craig Gosson and the Spirit Foundation and everyone in the Spirit organization, it made it really, really easy to start that and keep that charity going. And it's been a lot of fun, and everyone played major roles, and they all were equally as important, and they're all unique in their own way. And this award and the success that I had this year was couldn't have happened without them.
Yeah, unbelievable support, and it just takes so many people to allow you to kind of do your thing. And I've been impressed by what I was able to see when we spent that day together, excuse me, in January. I want to look now at some of the National Hockey League teams that you've been talking to. A lot of them have various methods in which they use to interview their players. Has there anything that's come up for you that's maybe been surprising, or that's challenged something that you've done scholastically that teams are asking about and want to know about when it comes to Cole Perfetti away from the rink?
Obviously there's a lot of it's about hockey development, what I believe in myself, what I see in myself, what I can do. There's obviously those hard questions where they try to test your character, see what kind of person you are, stuff like that. And that kind of puts you to the test. And, sometimes they're a little tricky, but you just got to answer, true to your heart and what you think is right and who you are. And I think I've done a good job with that. Not too much scholastics or academics or stuff like that away. Obviously they ask about my family. They ask, is school important, and, what my grades are, stuff like that. But, they don't get in depth too much about that stuff. A lot of it is, my character, the kind of person I am, the kind of what I'll bring to the table, and what I see myself doing in the future for their team and stuff like that. But, each interview has been different in their own way. And I've cherished every moment. I've learned a lot from each interview, and they've all been learning experiences and, and life lessons. So it's been a lot of fun, this process. And it's too bad it's it's getting closer to an end. At one point a couple weeks ago, I was meeting with 2 teams a day, and now it's more, once a week kind of thing, if that. So the calls have kind of died down, but it was a lot of fun, that process, and definitely a learning experience, and each one was so unique that it made each one fun for sure.
As we move forward to the draft lottery, you have to be excited about that, surely. And I won't ask you this, but surely you have a sense for what some of the teams were thinking about you and maybe might be leaning towards you when you get to that top end of the draft. How interested are you going to be in what happens there on the 26th of June with the draft lottery?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be another step in the right direction. There's obviously so much uncertainty going on. It's going to be nice to get a little bit of clarification. Even though it's just the draft order, it's still going to be nice to see, where teams are picking, what the order is, and potentially where I could go. I believe I have, I had some good talks, and I feel comfortable with, certain teams rather than others. And, obviously some of those meetings I came away feeling really good about them. And, so it'll be nice to see where those certain teams are and where they're picking, and, potentially where I could end up. And, but, I'm just excited for, things to be going in the right direction and the right steps, and, a little bit of forward motion towards the draft. So, I'm excited for whenever it's going to happen. I'm just looking forward to it.
Well, you're an unbelievable story, and I can't thank you enough for all the time you've given us this year through our time in January at the Prospects game here in this Zoom call. Congratulations on being named the Scholastic Player of the Year. I feel for you. I think you guys, and I wish it were going to be different, but I think you're going to be robbed of an unbelievable opportunity in this great draft class to have the big pomp and stance that normally goes along with the draft. But at the end of the day, it's for you, it's going to be about becoming a pro player, which I see very clearly here in the near future. So thanks again, Cole. Congratulations on being named the CHL 2020 Scholastic Player of the Year.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your time. It's been great getting to, chat with you guys over the course of the season and get to know you guys. And it's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate your time each and every time we talk. And I'm looking forward to what the future holds.